Alright, Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom.
We DOSD, Defenders of Sound Doctrine. Brother Kazak.
Chastisement.
And, today we just go, first and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We just go touch on, waxing bold through the affliction, and through the persecution that we face on a daily basis, battling the flesh, battling these demons, and also battling your family, or battling people outside of this truth, because it's a constant battle every day, So let me start off with this. I'm gonna start off with the book of First Timothy. Book of First Timothy. Salakia. Book of First Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, Salakia, 2 Timothy is what I wanted. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So we gotta endure hardness, because we warriors in this thing. You gotta keep your loins girded about, because it's you never know when something gonna come up against you. So you always gotta be girded, especially with this persecution on the rise. It's already predicted. We gotta wax bold through the persecution. We can't just let it get us down. Let me grab this real quick. We can't faint in the day of adversity, and every day is gonna be a day of adversity, because we spiritual warriors in this thing. We battling our flesh, we battling people outside of this truth that come up against it,
Again, 20, 26, 14.
What, it's 26 and 14?
No, it's 20.
20 and 14?
Yeah, I believe.
Salakia.
No, it might be 24 and 10.
Yeah, I think it is 24 and 10. The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10. It says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So we can't faint in the day of adversity as soon as, a little bit of affliction come upon us, as soon as that demon, get up on you at night, man. You can't faint. You gotta fight. You gotta fight and realize, that you in this for something more. Realize that you in this to win that, that incorruptible crown, like Paul talked about. We in this race, we gotta stick it through. We can't let these demons, we can't let the persecution come up against us and then we faint in the day of adversity. Brothers gotta stay strong, and you gotta cut that spirit with the word, like how Shah was doing, in his time of temptation. You got something?
Bring it up. In the book of Job, the 23rd chapter.
Right.
Because you gotta, the things that were written aforetime was written for our learning.
Right.
Like it's saying in Romans 15 and 14. So you gotta go to the accounts, right? You gotta go back into the word and the scriptures and see what our forefathers did, when they had adversity come to them. But this is the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot hath held his steps. His way have I kept and not declined. So, Job said, when the Most High tried me, he put me through that furnace, I come forth as fine gold, man.
Right.
Meaning he didn't faint and he kept the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
So we gotta look at the things that was written aforetime and apply those things.
Speaking on what the brother was just going into, we gotta focus on the things that's written aforetime, because that's for our learning. What did the master teacher Yahweh Shai, what did he do when that adversity came up against him? He cut it with the word of the Most High. When you feel that temptation coming over you, when you feel that affliction coming over you, whatever it is that you're battling, the best thing to do is just put your nose in this Bible, man. That's what you need to do. So I'm gonna get this account, this the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse. I'm gonna just start from the top. It says, then was Yahweh Shai led up of the spirit unto the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry. So, you know, he fasted 40 days and 40 nights. You know, if you fast, and brothers that fast, sisters that fast, you know, during your fast, you in a weak state. You know, you in a weak state of mind. You know, you kind of, you know, subjectable to some things. You know, because you know, you already ain't had no food in X amount of time. You know, you barely got energy. You know, so whatever your mind thinking on, you know, it's basically gonna overcome you. You know, but that's why you got to stick through the fast. Because what much fasting is gonna help you. You know, overcome those demons that's, you know, just trying to overtake you. You know, but it says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, "If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread." But he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." So, you know, what did Yahushua do? He quickly quoted a scripture against that spirit that was coming up against him. You know, and them spirits, you know, it's not always gonna be somebody in front of you. It's gonna be your own consciousness, your own thoughts that's coming up against you, and you just gotta you know, man can't live by bread alone. You know, I gotta live by the word of the Most High. You know, you gotta quickly cut that with a scripture. You know, and that just really be Satan in your mind. You know.
Con, got a quick precept.
Bring it up.
Brother brought out. Con, let me get the book of Sirach, chapter 14, verse 20. Because, hey, brothers in the truth, you gonna have them spirits, you gonna have them demons try to come up. And yeah, you know, the demons, they gonna try to tempt you in your head, especially when you by yourself.
All right.
When you in solitude. Let me get that quick precept. Sirach, chapter 14, verse 20. Slovakia. It reads, "Blessed is the man that meditate good things in wisdom, and that reason of upholding things by his understanding." So that's why it's always good to constantly meditate on the law, statutes, and commandments,
Right.
and the scriptures.
Right.
So just in case if you do get that wicked thought in your head, you could utterly rebuke that. Rebuke that demon. Say, "No, get the hell away from me." You know, I want to meditate on the laws, right? I want to meditate on the feast days, the commandments, the scriptures, right? Because the moment you don't meditate on good things, you know, you meditate on smoking that blunt, or you meditate on that commit adultery with that woman, hey, it's gonna end up happening. Right? So you gotta make sure you always continually in the word and in the scriptures. Salakia. Let me look that up with the classic. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 2. It reads, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 2. It reads, "But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night." So you have to literally meditate day and night all day in these scriptures. Because if the moment you don't meditate in these precepts, in these scriptures, in the word, that's when Satan, the adversary, he gonna come in with his wicked thoughts, and he gonna overtake your mind. Next thing you know, you going off, right?
It was more than that.
It says, it is more than that. It says, "And he shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in season." Right? You're going to be a tree, literally, because men is referred to as trees. You know, that water is the understanding. You're going to literally be surrounded by wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And that's beautiful through the Spirit. It says, "His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth, he shall prosper." Right? Whatever you gonna do, you gonna prosper in righteousness.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, you know, the classic. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So, you know, Satan, he could come up to you through anything, you know. He come through your mom, he come through your sister, you know, your husband, your wife. You know, Satan could come through anybody, you know, through your own conscience, you know, through yourself. You know, so you can't be ignorant of his devices. You know, you gotta quickly recognize that demon, you know, and gird yourself about. You know, how do you fight that demon off? You gotta put on the armor of the Most High. You know, let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we're not just wrestling against, flesh and blood. We're not just fighting the so-called white man, Esau. This is a daily battle within the flesh, man. Doesn't it say in Galatians, what is that? 5 and 17? It's either 5 and 17 or 6:17. The flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So we battling against our own flesh in this thing, man. We prisoners unto our own flesh. It's a daily battle. That's why we got to endure hardness, like the first precept I brought up. So let me keep going on that. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with the truth. So hey, we gotta break it down. What is the truth? Gotta break it down. What is the truth? Let me grab Psalms 119, 142. Because everything that the Lord says, it comes full circle to his laws, statutes, and commandments. And we can prove that. This Psalms 119, verse 142. It says, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So the law is the truth. So you got to have your loins girt about with the law. It's more on that. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness. It's like you're having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. So, hey, what is righteousness? Like I said, everything goes full circle. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25. It says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he have commanded us. So you got to have, the breastplate of righteousness. Your loins girded about with the truth. That's all around keeping the commandments, full 360, man. That's how you stand against the wiles of the devil. Keeping these commandments, like the brother said, meditating on them day in and day out. Like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 on down. We got to meditate on these commandments when we walking by the way, when we wake up, when we laying down, when we talking to our kids, all throughout the day, when you're on your way to work. Meditate on the commandments, man,
Come on, out of precept. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 41. It says, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Right? So you gotta watch and you gotta pray. Prayer is very important. Brothers should be throwing up prayers every day. Multiple times throughout the day, because your spirit want to serve the Most High. Like brother Nikon, I believe, said, hey, he said your spirit sometimes want to get in the kingdom right now.
Right.
But your flesh is weak, right? Because the flesh want to do the lust of the flesh, lust of the world, lust of the eye, evil concupiscence. Basically, your flesh want to give in, right? So, I have one more precept.
Bring it out.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, chapter 10, verse 3. It says, for we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For our weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Right? That's why we come out here, with spiritual weapons, because it's a literal spiritual warfare. When you on live and you trying to bring out the scriptures, but Satan kind of playing with live, hey, that's a spiritual warfare going on with the angels.
Right.
The angels trying to keep that live stream going, but Satan, he's trying to interrupt that live stream. That's why we come out through the precepts, because this is a literal sword, and it cut up these different spirits, like it say in the book Philippians chapter 6, verse 17. Hebrews 4 and 12. So this is a literal sword through the spirit. If you could understand.
Right. This is the book of Romans chapter 7 and verse, I'm gonna start at 18. It says, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would do, it says, for the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. So Paul, he's talking about his flesh. You know, his flesh is vexing him. You know, through the Spirit. You know, because what he wants to be led by the Spirit. You know, the Spirit wants to do the things that are parallel to the Most High, that are in righteousness with the Most High. You know, keeping His law, statutes, and commandments, keeping the Sabbath day, not buying and selling. Not shaving his beard. You know, not eating pork and all that, and not sleeping with prostitutes. You know, various things. You know, fornication and all of that. But what does your flesh want you to do? Your flesh wants you to roll up that blunt. You know, your flesh wants you to call up, you know, little Jenny from around the block, you know, and see what she on. Have a one night stand with her, you know. Your flesh wants you to do all these different kind of things, you know. And we can't give in to that. It says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. So, you know, we in captivity. Our souls is in captivity. Like it says in the book of Romans, I believe that's chapter 8. Salakia. Let me see if I can find it. It says when we grown. Salakia. I gotta find this. But we wanna Salakia, let me go back to that. It says, but I see a law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. You know, because what we have inside of our members, you know, we sold up under sin. You know. Let me see if I can find this quick precept real quick. Bear with me. It says Romans 8 and 23. I knew it was in chapter 8. The book of Romans chapter 8 verse 23. It says, and now only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves, grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. So, you know, our spirit is groaning. You know, your spirit is in constant turmoil because it wants to do what the Most High wants it to do, but it can't because it's inside of this flesh. It's inside of this fleshly cage, you know, and this cage wants us to go off. This cage wants to do everything contrary to what the Spirit wants to do. So, you know, our spirit is constantly groaning. That's why brothers so deep in depression sometimes, and it's true. You know, that's why brothers, you know, they constantly, you know, break it down. Sisters breaking down, you know, because what, you know, your flesh is constantly vexing you, making you want to do these things that you're not supposed to be doing. And your spirit, you trying to be led by the Spirit, fighting off these things, fighting off these feelings that you got, you know, but, you know, it's a constant war, you know, and that's why we got to be, you know, keep our nose in this Bible and constantly cut that spirit with the word of the Most High, like the brother Chastisement said, you know, when he quoted Hebrews 4 and 12.
There's one there.
So like it says, for we are, so like, let me start from the top, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves, grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. You know, what is that redemption of our body? You know, that's when we gonna be changed. Let me go to the book of Philippians chapter 3. So like chapter 3 and verse 21, it says, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So Yahushua, he got that glorified body. You know, he is able to subdue, you know, the lust of the flesh. He is able to subdue death. You know, he is able to subdue, you know, all manner of sin. You know, he has that glorified body. And that's what we racing to. That's what we fighting constantly on a daily. You know, we're not just waking up giving in to our flesh like people of the world do. You know, they do whatever comes to mind. You know, we wake up and do contrary to whatever comes to mind. You know, we wake up and immediately get down on our knees, pray to the Most High. You know, get into these scriptures. You know, we the ones checking the food labels and everything, making sure we don't go off. You know, we don't. You know, we walking orderly with the Most High. You know, and that's contrary to the flesh. You know,
we striving for perfection. Right. So when you going through these things, you have to pray. You have to pray. Right. Don't think you could do it on your own. Right. Don't think you missed a tough guy. You too prideful to acknowledge the Lord and you know, pour your spirit out and humble down and magnify the name of the Lord. Don't be that, you know, Mr. Know-it-all tough guy.
Right.
Because all you have to do, you know, instead of you thinking you could do it by yourself, you know, all you gotta do is pray to the Most High, you know, and sincerity and in truth. Make sure you're not going off. Let me get a quick precept on that. Because you don't want to be that brother that, nah, I got it. You know, I don't need, you know, it's just nothing but a little fluke. I don't need the Most High in this one.
That's kind of like being over righteous.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm pretty sure it's a brother out there, though. Israel. But, Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 8. It says, there is no man to have power over the spirit, to retain the spirit. Neither have he have power in the day of death, and is no discharge in a war. Neither shall the wickedness deliver those that are given to it.
Right.
Right. So, you know, you going through things in life, you know, or you find that demon, you know, that temptation, and you gotta pray to the Most High. Don't think you got the spirit, you know, it's okay. You gonna let that harlot kind of sit right next to you. He said, nah. You kind of just sitting there, you're like, no, I ain't gonna look at it. No, bro, you gotta separate from that, and you gotta pray to the Most High.
Right.
Right. So. And these demons could come off through fast and prayer. Like it's in the book of Mark, the 9th chapter, 26 on down, I believe. But let me get this one last precept about fasting, because fasting is very important. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 4. 58, verse 4, Salakia. It says, behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite the fist of the wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard up high. Right? So when you fast and you know, you're afflicting your soul for the Lord, hey, your voice is literally magnified. Right? And it's a precept. What's that precept in sight, right? Say the prayer of the humble pierces the clouds.
Salakia, while you finding that, I got a quick precept.
Bring it up.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 12, verse 8. It says, prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. But the main part that I wanted on that, it says prayer is good with fasting. You know, like the brother Chastisement was just saying, you know, you can't just be fasting and then you're not praying to the Most High. Hey, you got to get down on your knees. You know, you gotta put yourself on that base level like Esther was doing. Let me go ahead and grab you. You found your precept? Okay, let me grab this and this is to Esther to show how Esther was getting down when she was fasting, man. You know, you got to get all into it. You can't just be fasting and then you know you going out the hoop during your fast and all that. You know, that's going off, man. You know, brothers going out the hoop during their fast, man. You can't do that, brother. Come on now, you got to get into it, man. You got to make that full supplication for the Most High. This the book of Additions to Esther, chapter 14, from the top. It says, Queen Esther also, being in fear of death, resorted unto Yahweh and laid away her glorious apparel and put on the garments of anguish and mourning. So, you know, you got brothers when they fast and, you know, they pop out in their best fit. You know, brothers put on the Gucci belt, brothers put on the damn Jordans and all that, you know. Brothers got on the new Jordan hoodie and all that, man. Brother, you can't be doing that, brother. You out here trying to go to the club while you fasting, brother. Come on now. Come on now, brother. You can't be doing that.
That's all.
You ain't brush your teeth and all that, brother. You trying to pop out while you fasting. Like, brother, come on, brother. You know, you got to lay away your glorious apparel and put on your sackcloth, brother. You know, we got to rehearse the righteous acts. It says, Queen Esther also being in fear of death resorted unto the Most High and laid away her glorious apparel and put on the garments of anguish and mourning, and instead of precious ointments, she covered her head with ashes and dung, and she humbled her body greatly, and all the places of her joy she filled with her torn hair. Hey, so Esther was getting into it. You know, she was ripping her hair out, man. You know, She put ashes upon her head, man, and dung upon her head, man. Hey, she wasn't trying to smell good, man. She wasn't trying to smell like no Gucci guilty. You know, she wasn't putting on the damn Nautica and all that, man. Probably ain't even put on no damn deodorant that day, you know. They had it back then, you know. She ain't take no bath, no none of that, man. She was fasting, man. You know, she was making full supplication for the Lord, you know, getting all into it, abasing herself, you know. Let me see. It says, verse 3, it says, and she prayed unto the Most High of Israel, saying, O my Lord, thou only art our king. Help me, desolate woman, which have no helper but thee, for danger is in my hand. So like, yeah, that's it on that. But you know, she prayed to the Most High. After abasing herself, she prayed to the Most High. You know, probably smoting on herself. You know, like I said, she was tearing her hair out and filter all her favorite places with her hair and all of that. You know, hey, she was getting into it, and we got to do that same thing. You know, if we really want the Most High to bend down that ear and listen to us, man. You know.
What's that? Isaiah 30th chapter. I'll put a classic account. Let me just go to the first account. You'll grab that. You'll look up that precept. When they say the prayer of the humble pierce of the cloud. This account, the king Hezekiah. You know, he prayed to the Lord when he was sick. Let's see what the Lord did though. It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 20, verse 1. It says, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said to him, thus said the Lord, set thy house in order, for thou shalt live and not die. And he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how have I walked before thee in the truth with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. Right. And Hezekiah wasn't sore. Right, so as a king Hezekiah, he was sick. You know, he got on his knees. You know, he prayed to the Most High. It said, verse 4 says, and it came to pass before Isaiah was going out to the middle of the court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus said the Lord, the God of David, the Father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up to the house of the Lord. So, hey, the Most High heard his prayer. And he added 15, I believe it was 15 years to his life.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not that, don't be too prideful in this thing to pray to the Most High. Because at the end of the day, you are already nothing, brother.
Right.
Most High not dealing with, you know, a poor man that's proud.
I got that precept one. It's Sirach 35:17.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 35, verse 17. It says, the prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds. Until they come nigh, he will not be comforted. He will not depart to the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. Right, so the prayer of the humble man, hey, it's shooting up right through the clouds. Salakia, it says, for the Lord would not be slack, neither would a mighty be patient toward him, till he has smitten and sundered the lords of the unmerciful. Right, I'm gonna rest right there. But the point is, hey, you know, you have a humble spirit, you afflicting your soul, it's gonna go straight through the clouds, man.
Right.
Probably rip through the clouds, straight to the Most High.
Right. So hey, when you got these spirits vexing you, you know, you gotta seek the Lord, man. You know, you gotta fast, seek the Most High seek the Lord thrice, you know, like Paul did. It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. It says, unless I should be exalted above measure, though the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh. Meaning what? Hey, Paul was vexed with a demon, man. And they don't say exactly what demon Paul was being vexed with, but what? Hey, it's the same demon that's vexing you every day. It's the same demon that's vexing me every day. Same demon that's vexing Tazama. You know, hey, it's within our flesh, man. You know, something that we gotta deal with. You know, hey, it says, what is it saying? So like, let me grab this real quick. This 1 Corinthians chapter 10. First Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13, I believe. It says, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. So, hey, every temptation that's coming upon a brother, hey, the same temptation could come upon the next brother. You know, everything is common. You're not the only one going through what you're going through. You know, it says, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. So it's always gonna be a way to escape. You know, and like we were just going into, one of those ways to escape is praying and fasting, man. You know, so let me go back to 2 Corinthians chapter 12. It says, verse 7, unless I should be exalted above measure, though through the abundance of revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me. So Paul had a demon. He says, lest I should be exalted above measure, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice. So, hey, he said he besought the Lord thrice, man. And 3 means emphasis. You know, three stands for emphasis. So, hey, he went 3 times harder for the Lord, you know, praying to the Most High. You know, Lord, I need you to get rid of this demon that I've been dealing with, you know, probably praying, fasting, and all of that, man. You know, going crazy for the Lord through the Spirit. In verse 9, this is what the Lord said. You know, the Lord heard Paul's prayers and said this. It says, and he said unto, so like, let me start at verse 8. It says, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. You know, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So, hey, the Lord Yahushua told Paul, you know, he was like, my grace is sufficient for thee, you know, and he was like, my strength is made perfect through weakness. You know, so, hey, through your weakness, you got to wax bold through that affliction, man. You know, you got to wax bold through that, because what? That's your strength. You know, the Lord ain't going to put nothing on you that you can't handle, man. You know, and what they say in the world, what don't kill you make you stronger. You know, it says, for my grace is sufficient for thee, and for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, and reproaches, in necessities, and persecutions, and distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So, hey, man, you got to take pleasure in them infirmities. That means the Lord is dealing with you, man. Doesn't it say, blessed is he that is chastised by the Most High, man? You know, hey, the Lord is dealing with you, man. If you constantly vexed by these demons and you fighting them, man, you know, the Lord is only proving you in those instances. You know, He's only proving you.
Gone. Using the precept.
Let me go to this. So, you know, we gotta look at Paul. We gotta look at our forefathers, and, you know, basically, you know, following those same footsteps. This is the book of Philippians. Oh, there you go. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 14. It says, and many of the brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. So, hey, you know, they was waxing confident by Paul's bonds, the other apostles. They like, you see what Paul had to go through, and he's still out here teaching. Hey, we got to go hard for the Lord, man. You know, hey, he out there setting an example. You know, what did it say that Paul went through? You know, Paul said he went through shipwreck. You know, he was getting beat by other Jews. You know, he was getting locked up. You know, he was getting flogged and all of that. You know, whipped. Hey, Paul was going through it, man, and that was making the other apostles go even harder, because they wanted to go through the same thing, man. You know, that was glorified back then by the apostles, to be able to suffer that same persecution, you know, that Yahushua had to suffer for this truth. You know, you got something? Bring it up.
It's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 1. Says, for as much as then Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Right.
For he hath suffered in the flesh and hath ceased from sin. Right, so like the brother was bringing out, hey, that's the Lord, you know, proving you and testing you. But at the end of the day, you might be catching hell, stuff like that, but you gotta suffer. You gotta arm yourself with the same mind like Yahushua Hamashiach did, right? Because if he was able to go through all that he went through and he ceased from sin, hey, you could do the same, right? Don't it say in the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 37? So let me grab that. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 37. It says, "For with God, nothing shall be impossible." Right? So if you constantly praying and fasting to the Lord, right, and you want, you telling the Lord to try you, and to prove you whether you're going to keep his commandments or not, right? You believe that the Most High going to bring you through this, nothing's going to be impossible.
All right.
Be trusting in the Most High.
Let me see if this is what I want.
I have quick precept.
Oh, go ahead and bring it up.
It's the book of Psalms chapter 118, verse 18. That's what David said. He said, "The Lord have chastened me sore, but he have not given me over to death." Right? So you might get chastened in this thing by the Lord, but ultimately the Lord not going to give you over to death. He just putting you through this phase to see whether you're going to keep his commandments, whether you're going to magnify the name of the Lord, whether you're going to stand up boldly for this truth and for these words. But he's not going to ultimately, he's not going to put you through that just so you could die. Like our forefathers did when he was bringing them through the wilderness. They was talking about some Most High. And did you bring us out here in the wilderness to thirst to death, right? To starve to death. They was being ungrateful through the Spirit.
This book is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse I'm gonna start at verse 10. Salakia. I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bonds, but the word of God is not bound. Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach, Yahushai, with eternal glory. So we gotta endure all things through the elect's sake, Hey, what it say? It's in Sirach. It say, "Consider that I labor not for myself, but for all those that seek learning." So hey, we out here going hard for those that's watching us. We out here going hard just so they could see us and they could go harder. Hey, that spirit rubs off on people. The brother Chastisement going hard, his spirit might rub off on me. I start going hard. Hey, it says, "It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign. We shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us." So it says, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. So we gotta take pride in the sufferings. We gotta take pride in the chastisement, everything that we going through for the Lord, man. Because that means we gonna reign with him. Didn't the Lord say this out of his own mouth? He said, this is the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse verse 10. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." So if you're getting persecuted for righteousness, hey, the kingdom of heaven is for you, man. It says, verse 11, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." Hey, they persecuted the prophets, man. Jeremiah had to go through it. You got a precept?
Yeah,
Kind of bring it out. I'm gonna grab this in Jeremiah.
Like the brother was saying, when the Lord chastising you, hey, that's for a positive reason. That's for like the brother brought out in Matthew. You might be reigning with Yahushai, in the future. It's the book of, and you also know that the Lord is dealing with you as he'll deal with his son. It's the classic. It's the book of Hebrews chapter 12 verse 5. "And ye have forgotten the exhortations which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. From whom the Lord loveth, he chastiseth, and scourges every son whom he received. If ye endure chastisement, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chastises not?" Right now, on a physical level, what father, that don't discipline is a father that discipline his child, that don't discipline his child, right? He letting his child do whatever he want. He not putting them through no type of, learning experience. Hey, he kind of really don't love him. But on a spiritual level, our Heavenly Father, the Most High, he loves us, so he gonna put us through certain tests to ultimately, make it to the kingdom and righteousness.
So like, yeah, I was looking for this precept, but well, kind of like the brother was just saying, man, and the Lord will put you through some things. The Lord might have you lose your car. The Lord might have your whole family rise up against you. Ain't no telling what's in your lot for the chastisement, But hey, you got to get through it. You got to endure it, man, and keep your faith in the Lord. Doesn't it say in Job, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, man? Hey, though the Most High is slaying you, man, though the Most High is beating your ass, like literally, the Most High kind of got you hemmed up like this, and he's, steady punching you in your nose back to back, and you still got to trust in him, man, because he gonna be looking out for what's in your best interest. This the book of Jeremiah, chapter 38, and verse, I'm just start from the top. It says, then Shephatiah, the son of Matan, and Gedaliah, the son of Pashur, and Juko, the son of Shelemiah, and Pashur, the son of Malchiah, heard the words that Jeremiah had spoken unto all the people, saying, thus saith Yahweh, he that remaineth in this city shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth forth to the Chaldeans shall live, for he shall have his life for a prey, and shall live. So, hey, the Lord was sending Jeremiah waking up early in the day, to go down there to the gates and rebuke all the noblemen, man, to rebuke all the people that's in the gates, man, that's having counsel for the city and all of that, for the kingdom of Judah, man. The Lord was having Jeremiah go down there and rebuke them, because they was wicked. And he was telling them, whosoever gonna remain in this city, hey, you going into captivity. I'm gonna send Nebuchadnezzar down here, and he go raid everything and take everybody back to Babylon, man. And they wasn't trying to hear that, They wasn't trying to hear that at all. It say verse 3. It says, thus saith Yahweh. It says, thus saith Yahweh, this city shall surely be given into the hand of the king of Babylon's army, which shall take it. Therefore the princess said unto the king, we beseech thee, let this man be put to death, for thus he weakeneth the hands of the men of war that remain in this city, and the hands of all the people in speaking such words unto them. For this man seeketh not the welfare of his people, but the hurt. So, hey, doesn't it say in Matthew, so like, I don't know if it's the 10th chapter. It say, they gonna deliver you up. Thinking that they doing the Most High service, thinking they doing what's right for the people, thinking they doing the Most High service, thinking they doing what's right in the Most High's eyes. But what whole time, you the one delivering the word of the Most High. You the one telling them what the Most High got in store, but they don't want to hear that, because it's not going according to their plans, So you got that?
Well, Matt believe that was in the 24th chapter. You talking about when they deliver you up?
They shall deliver you up thinking they do the Most High service. It might be in John.
Yeah.
Salakia. Salakia.
Said they weren't trying to hear that.
They wasn't trying to hear that at all, man. John 16:2, I'll grab it. The book of John, chapter 16 and verse 2. It says, they shall put you out of the synagogues, yeah, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you think that they do of God's service. So, hey, they gonna be thinking that they doing the work of the Most High, Hey, these Israelites, they the cause of all of this that's going on. These black Hebrew Israelites, we got to get rid of them. Hey, God said the earth would be better without them. So, they finna be trying to kill us in those times, man. Thinking they doing God's service, Hey, they was trying to kill Jeremiah, thinking they was doing service for the nation, man. Talk about he making an army weak with the words that he's speaking. And he delivering the word of the Lord, man.
Right.
Y'all just too prideful to understand that. It says, verse 5. Then Zedekiah the king said, behold, he is in your hand, for the king is not he that can do anything against you. Then took they Jeremiah and cast him into the dungeon, and into the dungeon of Malchiah, the son of Hamelech, that was in the court of the prison, and they let down Jeremiah with cords. And in the dungeon there was no water but mire. So Jeremiah sunk in the mire. So hey, he was just sitting there sinking in the mud, man. Just sitting there sinking in the mud, and it's like it wasn't no hope for Jeremiah. But what? Jeremiah kept his faith in the Lord, man. You know, I believe in saying Lamentations. So like if I can find it.
Come on.
Lamentations chapter, you got a precept? Okay. Let me go to Lamentations. So like it'll be chapter 4. Okay. It's chapter 3 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 51. It says, my eye affecteth my heart because of all the daughters of my city. My enemies chase me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flow over my head. Then I said, I am cut off. I called upon the name of Yahweh out of the dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. It says, thou drawest near in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidest, fear not. So, hey, man, Jeremiah prayed his way out the dungeon, man. Just like Jonah prayed his way out the belly of the whale, man. Hey, doesn't it say in the book of Psalms, what is that, Psalm chapter 56? Salakia. Psalm chapter 56 and Salakia, no. Salakia. What's that I want? It might be 50. Psalms chapter 50 and 15. It says, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. So, hey, Jeremiah called upon the Most High in his day of trouble, man. He was cast into the dungeon by the other wicked Israelites, man, because they hate him that rebuketh in the gate. Jeremiah called upon the Lord, man. That's the same thing you got to do. When them demons vexing you, you got to call upon the Lord, man. You know, get down, pray, fast, you know. Hey, call upon the name of the Lord, and he going to deliver you out the day of trouble, man. You know. Let me see. Anything else you was trying to touch on?
We really touched on it. Everything. With the spirit.
All praise to the Most High. Hey, praise. So let me get my closing precept, I guess. Let me see. I gotta go to one of my favorites. You probably know where I'm going. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, but as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. So it said, I have not seen nor ear heard, man. And you can't even fathom, you can't even imagine the things that the Most High got for the people that love him, man. And how do you love the Most High? You keep the commandments, man. 1 John 5 and 3, man. You know, 2 John 1 and 6, man. You know, hey, we got to keep the commandments, man. You know, that's how you prove that you love the Most High. And he going to have the best things in store for you, man. Doesn't it describe the kingdom of heaven as having streets of gold, man? Streets of fine gold, man. In the book of Revelations, the 21st chapter, man. You know, hey, you got to want it, man. You know, hey, like that video that brother that Jake used to watch, you know, with the brother that was playing football and all that. How bad do you want it? Hey, how bad do you want this kingdom, man? You know, you got to go hard for that, man. Hey, the brother in the video, the brother was doing his push-ups, man. You know, lifting his little weights. The brother had the football running on the sand and all that. Hey, you gotta be like that with this word, man. You know, you gotta kind of do your precepts. You know, do your push-ups with these precepts. You know, you gotta kind of run through the sand with these breakdowns. You gotta kind of, do your sit-ups with this praying and fasting. Hey, you gotta get through the spirit, man. You gotta do it through the spirit.
Come on. Let me get a precept. It's the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 36. It says, "Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man." Right? So you gotta especially in these last days, you have to literally constantly be on watch. And you have to constantly be doing up prayers to the Most High. So you could be counted worthy to escape all these things, man. Jacob's trouble, them delivering you up, probably going days without eating. You gotta pray to the Most High. So when you make it through this, you're gonna be able to stand, in the Lord willing. If you make it to the wilderness, you're gonna be able to stand before the Son of Man, right? You're gonna see Yahweh Shai face to face, right? Like it's saying in the book of Ezekiel, the 20th chapter. So, with that, give a strong shalom.
Shalom, man. Hey, keep praying, keep fasting, keep enduring through the faith, man. What it say? He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. So with that, all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Hey, shalom.